Oh no, what we gonna do? Liam likes glam rock more than me and you. Oh no, what we gonna do? We gotta get him out of here.
Now, I'm a little disappointed to find that you're wearing essentially civilian clothing.
Yeah, these are my civvies. Yeah, I thought I'd make the effort to sort of blend in with the rest of the guys in the green room.
Yeah. Do you still wear catsuits ever?
No, because they don't really make them in slightly doughy size.
No, you know what?
Oh, really, Liam? Are you doing a video on the Darkness? Didn't they only have one good song? Oh, contraire, my not fun having friend. The Darkness have way more badass tunes than I believe in a thing called love. Oh, but they're just a joke band. Well, how about this? You sit your ass down, and I try to convince you that they're more than just a joke band. So without further ado, let's slap on our leotards so tight people can tell our religious beliefs and rock on into the Darkness.
Give me a D! Give me an R! Who's rocking you at tea time for once?
The band was initially started by two brothers, Dan Hawkins on guitar and the man with the voice to shatter your wine glasses, Justin Hawkins. With Justin starting off with, let's just call him humble beginnings.
Tango, Trevor, the perfect union of God's own harvest and man's ingenuity. It's one of the few things I can say of any authority, but tango is the business end of carbonated fruit drinks. This is no boy band beverage. This is an unadulterated rock-based liquid. It's more or less the booze of the gods. Come, let us administer it. Punch my ass! Oh, that's got it.
Starting off with the band name Empire, the brothers eventually picked up Ed Graham on the drums, Frankie Paulin on bass, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names, and even a blink and you miss it second guitarist. After changing their name to The Darkness, the boys laid waste to the UK club scene, and while their name was passed around the industry like a narc in a prison shower, nobody was touching the band with a 10-foot pole.
We spent a lot of time just sort of doing gigs and stuff, and like the folks from the record trade or the music industry would come down to the shows, and then they wouldn't want to sign us to major labels because they thought that we were the product of some mogul's evil mind, you know, who had contrived this band as a joke on the music industry.
So like a kind of warped, instead of making a boys band,
yeah,
a 70s men's band.
Yeah, with, you know, because of course with these teeth and stuff, when I went for the recruitment and you know, showed them my CV, done all for 15 years.
Eventually, Atlantic Records picked the boys up and they went into the studio to crank out Permission to Land. Now, I have this weird thing I do with a lot of bands I listen to, and that is absolutely adoring their first album. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the youthful intensity of the songwriting. Maybe it's the wanting to prove something. Maybe it's the best batch of creativity they can push out before mainstream success takes their nuts in a to-go bag. Whatever it is, I absolutely love a lot of bands' first albums, and Permission to Land by The Darkness is one of them. Catchy riffs and soaring vocals abound on this badass record, and you can shriek joke band all you like. The boys sell every classic rock riff and falsetto note with a sincerity that most bands like them don't even have in even one of their members. Black Shuck, Growing on Me, and of course I Believe in a Thing Called Love, but my personal favorite track is gonna have to be the first single, Get Your Hands Off My Woman. Any song that allows me to shriek motherfucker at the top of my lungs is aces in my book. But a close second will have to go to the big ballad on this record, Love Is Only a Feeling.
Was the be all and end all? Love is so
only thing you've listened to off Permission to Land is I Believe in a Thing Called Love, then I strongly encourage you to remedy that shit fucking yesterday. Next. Yes, the dreaded sophomore slump. Now, I've talked about it before in this show, but never really went into detail on what it is, so basically it goes like this. Band releases fantastic first album, rakes in a windfall of success because of said album, then tours it so long and hard they throw their creative backs out and phone it in on the next record, if not for the rest of their career. See also Billie Eilish in the next few years. And One Way Ticket to Hell and Back is the embodiment of that description. From the songs to the performances on said songs, the band just sounds tired and uninspired compared to Permission to Land. Not even a new bassist could inject this band with fresh blood, and the production just exacerbates the whole situation. Anemic as all get out, it's important to note that this album was produced by Roy Thomas Baker, you know, who is famous for producing, this.
Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let him go.
And One Way Ticket to Hell and Back sucks a big ol' bag of dicks. You can't even buy a one-way ticket to and from a place, for Christ's sake. Best track? Well, the singles are some of the better material on this humdrum-a-dum. For some reason I can't explain, I really love the Clown Shoes song Hazel Eyes. While you are free to listen to this album and form your own opinion on it, I'd strongly recommend you buy a real one-way ticket to a place where this album doesn't exist. Next. Now, just like the Motograder retrospective, I'm going to give you the cliff notes of what happened between One Way Ticket and Hot Cakes. After Justin snorted half a Columbia up his nose and took a shit on every band in a 5-mile radius, he checked his ass into rehab and the band broke up. The remaining members formed a band called the Stone Gods, and once he was out of rehab, Justin started a band called Hot Leg, both of which collapsed faster than you can say, But in 2011, the original 4 members got back together, toured, and in 2012 released Hot Cakes. Boom, done.
So, as comebacks go, this was pretty unexpected.
Is it?
Yes, I wasn't expecting this. I'm very excited about it.
I think
by
we
the
all
way,
were.
but-
We've been expecting it for years now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really? So how come
I
you
wasn't
didn't have
expecting it.
sooner?
Oh, it was a nice surprise for Frankie, actually. We all knew, but we wanted to save the surprise.
Oh.
And while they didn't receive the same buzz they got in their heyday, the album did get pretty positive reviews. Hell, I really like it. It's a welcome return to the give-a-fuck sound the band had on their first album, and the songs are great. With a Woman, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, and my personal favorite track, Everybody Have a Good Time. And a good time Hot Cakes is. Welcome back, the darkness. Don't be a stranger.
By the way, did you know that we're French-Canadian?
He doesn't care. Next
You
one.
don't give a shit, do you?
With Ed Graham handing in his 2 weeks' notice, the band hired Emily Dolan Davies to fill the vacant drum seat, at least for the recording of Last of Our Kind. And while Hot Cakes is a welcome return to the band, Last of Our Kind is a welcome return to badass rock. With opening bangers like Barbarian and Open Fire, this album hits like a drunk redneck husband, with the ballads acting like the makeup jewelry. Okay, that was a bad analogy, I admit, but bad, Last of Our Kind isn't. Best track, for my money, that's gonna have to go to the song that's as groovy as a vinyl record, Roaring Waters. With this album, the band proved that the days of One-Way Ticket to Hell and Back were long gone, and a better, more consistent version of the band was ready to rock the socks off of anyone who dared to spin their records. Next!
Well, I think rock is kind of rock has always had a certain amount of fun and humour attached to it. It's kind of, I think, in a way, that's never changed, has it? It's almost like too much of a risk to not take yourself seriously these days. It's like you kind of, you have to be, everything has to be boxed off, and in a way, it's sort of it's too much of a risk. Yeah.
Now, once again, I say to you, to your friends, hell, I'll even dig up your dead grandma and say it to her. For all the band's love of glam rock extremities and silly song titles and lyrics, they back it up with a love and respect for their music and the music that inspired it. And Pinewood Smile, with songs like Solid Gold, Southern Trains, and Japanese Prisoner of Love. Is an admittedly deeper dive into Goofy, but it's that aforementioned sincerity that keeps the band from entering Ninja Sex Parties, Steel Panther, or Tenacious D territory. No offense to those acts, by the way, as I happen to love all three of them. Pinewood Smile is just another bafflingly consistent Darkness record. It's also the first to include Rufus Tiger Taylor on the drums, as Emily Dolan Davies leapt off the USS Darkness. And if the new drummer's name sounds familiar, it's because it's Queen drummer Roger Taylor's kid. Huh. There seems to be a lot of Queen references in this video. It's almost as if the Darkness themselves were heavily inspired by Queen. Who knows who they were inspired by. Next!
We live in dark times. As power-hungry clowns cast a shadow of despair across this land, our people cower in tumble-down hovels. The birds do not sing, and the children do not dance. Hope is crushed. Where are the heroes that this world needs? Where are the heroes that this world deserves? Cast aside despair, people, for the tide will turn. We are men in tight costumes, and we are ready to fight with every weapon that the forefathers have bequeathed. This is the first day in our new world, and Easter is cancelled. Let us begin. Death or glory, my friends, which will it be?
Easter is cancelled. Whew. I bet the band were holding a monkey paw when that title was chosen, huh?
It is a monkey's paw dating back to Alal bin Abdallah. It has the power to grant wishes to its owner.
Yeah? How much?
Sir, I must strongly advise you do not purchase this. Behind every wish lurks grave misfortune. I myself was once president of Algeria.
Come on, pal, I don't want to hear your life story. Paw me!
Well, all current pandemics aside, Easter is cancelled is just another fantastic Darkness record. The band knows their niche and they know their audience, and while their time in the brightest spotlight is over, I don't think the band members have to worry about keeping their lights on for the foreseeable future. Best track? Well, that's gonna have to go to the rockin' ballad, Live Till I Die.
Until we're standing at the edge of the abyss. Live till I die. I love till I'm cold. Live till I die. I love till I cry. 'Cause I know what I'm looking for.
Well, here's hoping that I changed your mind on the Darkness and you're ready to give them a second appraisal. Well, that does it for the 10th episode of the Retrospective series. Once again, I thank you for sitting with me, and until next time, I'm Liam Winfield. Keep on rockin'.
As Her Majesty's art historian and preservationist, I present the rock and roll band The Darkness's plan to express a reaction to imperialism by removing Monk's The Scream from its original framing and taking a shite all over it.
Excuse me, I think it's pronounced Munch. We are beating the KLF at their own game.
After the shite is taken, it will then be transported to the Royal Academy of...
We're making a great statement.